to the fourth and final episode of SkuBowl. It's great to have you back. So today we're going to be covering, we're going to hear from Bill Peden, first of all. He's one of our solutions engineers, and he's going to be talking us through some of the best warehouse practices that you can implement today. Things like barcode scanning, do you have your shipping aggregators in place? Things like this. Super tight, super concise. Bill, I'm going to hand it over to you. Welcome to SkuBowl.
Thanks so much. Happy to be here, Kieran.
Okay, so first question, let's dig into it. What benefits does barcode scanning bring to warehouse operations?
If we're being completely honest, warehouse operations happening in a vacuum can't be used to drive growth or improve the business. If those things are happening and we're not reporting on it, then we can't look to that information to figure out how we can better ourselves, create greater efficiencies. So by barcode scanning, ultimately what you're doing, every time you're touching products in the warehouse, whether you're moving product from one location to another one, whether you're doing a quality control check, making sure the right products are going with the right orders, informing where you're picking products from in the warehouse, by capturing all of that information through scanning, you can then leverage that information to make better business decisions. Whether that's ensuring that we're doing the most efficient picking routes, or we're checking in, do any of our employees, are they struggling a little bit more? Are they moving a little slower? Could they benefit from having a bit more training? Just by incorporating that scanning, you're creating a digital ledger book of all the things that are happening in the warehouse. And it's allowing you to stay accountable and keep everyone that's helping run the operation accountable, making sure that the right things are happening when they need to.
It'd be good to just dig down a little deeper into a specific use case or an example of and kind of walking through the process of how using barcode scanning is actually helpful.
So if you think about it, say I know that I ordered 100 units of a product. I know that 100 units are out there, and in my, whether it's my spreadsheet or in my WMS, I see that 50 of them are in spot A and 50 of them are in spot B. So then an order comes in, orders are coming in, we're processing all that information. All of a sudden, person shows up and, on the spreadsheet or in the WMS, it says there should still be 8 remaining in spot A. I get there's only 3. Well, what happened to the other 5? Where did those go? Did they get moved somewhere? Were they damaged? Someone threw them out? I have no idea where any of that product is because I'm not capturing that information. So by incorporating that scanning, we're ultimately saying, hey, anytime we're touching this product in any way, we're going to let somebody know. We're going to let the WMS know. So that way we've got clear visibility where all our products are at any given time, when they're going out the door, when they're coming in the door, if we need to reorganize the warehouse, move stuff around. If we're not digitally capturing that information, then we really have no way to hold anybody accountable for it. So, the most common practical areas where we're seeing barcode scanning really elevate businesses are going to be in that receiving process, making sure that every article of anything that's coming in the door is accounted for. It's really helping them in the picking process. So not only are we indicating when we're getting a product for an order, but we're also indicating where we're getting that product from in the warehouse. And then finally, that final step in that packing up, getting products to the customer, ensuring that the right products are going to the right place. And not only just the right product, but for a lot of our clients, that's not only the right product, but the right size, the right color, the right flavor. It's just easy to make those mistakes. Bringing in barcode scanning virtually eliminates all those mistakes.
So that's barcode scanning covered. Shipping aggregators next. Do you find that most businesses have a shipping aggregator or shipping aggregators in place? Or is that a gap for most of the businesses that you're dealing with?
That's an excellent question. So when it comes to shipping aggregators, what I find is that either a WMS or a shipping aggregator is most common, the first bit of tech that a business is going to bring into the fold to really kind of help grow. They're starting to sell on more channels. They're starting to process more orders. It's one of those two that typically comes first. Now, do most of our clients have shipping aggregators? I would say that yes, most of them do. And those that don't quickly need one Once they start getting into a growth period for their business, they start recognizing the need for greater organization, the need for greater efficiencies. By having that shipping aggregator, you can rate shop and save money. So any deals that you've got worked out with individual couriers or shipping providers, you can fold those in and take a look at others. So, this week it might make the most sense to ship UPS. Next week, it might make more sense to ship DHL. You're able to do that rate shopping and ensure that you're, getting the best bang for your buck. And then also shipping aggregators are going to let you organize and control your orders with greater efficiency and just allow you to make sure that you are kind of making the best proactive decisions that you can on how you're taking a look and processing your orders. So what are some practical ways that could happen? So for some of our clients, they get to growing and they realize, hey, I'm located in Florida and I'm selling a lot in the Northwest. It's a lot of money to ship from Florida to Northwest. Maybe I need to start talking to some 3PLs or some drop shippers to see if they could help me out. They can hold some of my product, send it for cheaper. A shipping aggregator can route that order to where it needs to go. So if you're using a 3PL or a drop shipper, you can leverage that aggregator to send that order where it needs to go and get processed or fulfilled. Similarly, say you got a bunch of orders that have come in for similar products or the same product. You can use that shipping aggregator to batch orders together, save time in the warehouse, making sure that you're processing orders at the same time. Maybe you need to park that order to check for fraud. Shipping aggregators just provide a level of order management and shipping efficiency that's not only going to save money, but can save time, just both by what orders are getting picked together and what order needs to go where.
Next up, inventory control. So the key thing here is you have to be proactive when it comes to your inventory control. So it'd be good to just walk through what do we mean by proactive inventory control and why that's important.
So proactive inventory control, what I've found in, working in this space for a few years, I feel like a lot of younger clients, newer businesses, when they're first getting started, particularly when they start experiencing, their first kind of real levels of growth, oftentimes they are making decisions based on gut feelings rather than actual data. So they could have too much inventory of something that's not selling, so just dead stock on the shelf because they didn't really know how much they needed. They could have too little inventory. They're selling through stuff because something's blowing up and they just really weren't paying attention to it. And before you know it, they're out of inventory and they're losing sales. Either way, it's costing them money. And what in my opinion, proactive inventory control, what that means is ensuring that you're taking a look at your processes, you're taking a look at your sales, and you're making data-driven decisions on what to have in the warehouse, where it goes in the warehouse. I had a client once that, they started a new product line, they had just gotten it in, and the only place that they had, or the open space that they had for that product was on the other side of the warehouse. So they put it there. Before you know it, they're struggling to keep up with processing orders because they're having to run back and forth across the warehouse all day. Proactive inventory control means, hey, let's reallocate some products so this is right next to the packing station. We can get through those orders like that, saving us time and energy. Say, you've got you're an apparel company, you've got a ton of returns here in Q1, right? People ordered a bunch of sizes. And so now you're kind of swimming or struggling to stay afloat, getting all these returns processed with more orders coming in. If you had those solid workflows in place, if you had that inventory where it needed to be, that could free up time and energy for you as the business owner to think, okay, how can we prevent this many returns in the future? Should we redo our sizing options online on the website so people have a better idea of what size will fit them? There's just a number of different ways by proactively taking a look at what's selling, when it's selling, where it needs to go in the warehouse, how much of it I need to have on the shelves. That will free up time and energy to then dedicate that to the business itself, figuring out ways to grow, ways to improve, saving you a lot of headache in the day-to-day.
Okay, and what are a couple of ways that you can do that? I suppose there are manual ways you can do it, but there are also tech-led ways that you can do that?
Like we mentioned before, kind of warehouse layout's a great example, making sure that the products are where they need to be. And then as far as like the data-driven aspect of it, forecasting, again, stepping away from that gut-based decision-making on how much to order and instead looking at that data. All right, if I'm wanting to push this product line, for this peak season, how much of it did we sell last season? Okay, are we trying to, based on the numbers, should we be increasing what we're ordering by 10% or 30%? Um, you know, not waiting until the problems are here to then start going into panic mode, but instead trying to get ahead of things, making sure that you've got the right workflows and processes in place. If we're struggling with a lot of misships, if we're getting the wrong products in the wrong people's hands, do we have a quality control step in place? Do we need to train up everybody to make sure that we incorporate that so that we can prevent it? Are we, should we be processing all of the single item orders together to save time rather than just kind of doing a mix order by order, having to retrace our steps in the warehouse? Just looking at some of that different data and trying to figure out ways to increase those efficiencies and just essentially, make sure that we're getting orders processed more quickly, but not sacrificing accuracy.
So you've talked about some of the benefits of being data-led there. Again, do you find that a lot of the businesses you encounter are crunching the numbers, are using the data to drive those decisions? Or again, is there a gap in how many of these businesses are using data in the right way?
So I think that is the hallmark of a mature or maturing business is the level to which they are incorporating data into their decision-making processes. I think that the more and more advanced, the more and more successful businesses that we encounter, that is just how they run their business. They have to know what that data represents in terms of their products, their customers, and their sales, and they're allowing that to drive that. Say, for example, you've got a really successful business, you're processing tons of orders, you're really struggling, but you're excited because your business is growing. You've got a supplier that's, one of your primary suppliers constantly sending you product to restock. But say, 10% of every order is damaged or faulty in some way. If we're not, capturing that information when we're pulling products off the truck, if we're not ensuring that we've got the data to back up, okay, how much money are we losing in these damaged, products that we're getting here? If we're not able to capture that in a definable or reportable way, we can't then go make the decision, hey, we might need to get a new supplier for these products. We're losing money because they're not sending us good quality product. Or we need to have a conversation with that supplier to ensure that, hey, we're getting compensated for this, or this stops happening. By being able to have the data to capture what's really going on, we can then make those calls. We can take the time to reflect on how the business is doing rather than spending all of our time just making sure that we're not drowning.
So we've covered barcode scanning, shipping aggregators, proactive inventory control, and being led truly by your data. Anything we've missed here?
The one thing that I just like to bring up is the fact that it's important to remember that bad habits and challenges scale with your business as well. So if your business is growing, which is wonderful, that's what we want to encourage, we want to help as much as we can. But if we're not solving those problems while they're small, then they're only going to become bigger as you get bigger. So what we found in our space, serving our clients, for warehouse management, inventory management, is that businesses who are tackling those challenges when they're small, before they get out of hand, they've set themselves up for success. So when the iron is hot, they can strike and just capitalize on that. They're making data-driven decisions on restocking and inventory. They're tracking how their products are selling on the different channels, knowing where to invest in ads or where they should push their product. By tackling those problems and challenges when they're smaller and they're annoying but not detrimental, that just really sets them up for success later. The one other kind of best practice type of thing I can think of would be the way you're selling your products. We found that our clients that sell that also bundle their products and sell it in different ways are selling more products and processing more orders. So if you're able to not only offer this t-shirt, but offer this t-shirt bundled with these other two, and this t-shirt sold with this other pair of pants. It gives your customers more opportunities to buy your product and oftentimes leads to more product being purchased. So that's a couple things, I think, a couple extras to throw out there.
Lovely couple of bonuses.
There you go. Perfect.
Bill, appreciate you being here and being part of the final episode of SkuBowl. I hope everyone watching got as much value as I did. That was incredibly insightful. And that's it. That's a wrap for SkuBowl, everyone. These episodes will be available on demand, so just stay tuned for more information on that front, and we will see you again soon.
Thanks so much, Kieran.